Yo, this is Bench Gamer here. So there has been a recent leak or rumor, as you would say, that the miHoYo Games banner system will likely be changing in the near future, probably in the next patch or so for all three of the major miHoYo games right now. So Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact, and Zenless Zone Zero. And what it says here is that the schedule for miHoYo Games ignore the machine translation problem. My home games, party events will undergo another major change. So that's just the banner patch cycle system, right? So right now we get like one banner for a new character, and then there's like another rerun banner at the same time, and then sometimes there's not, and then maybe like 3 weeks later there's another patch banner, and that's a new character, and there's probably going to be another rerun character. That's basically how it works for miHoYo Games right now. But according to this leak, it says from now on the new character banner will be available simultaneously and last for the entire major version, 42 days. After half of the version has passed 21 days later, the rerun character banner will start. So what this basically means is that there is no longer going to be two banners, one after the other, one lasting for 3 weeks, and the next one lasting for another 3 weeks. Basically, the entire duration of the patch, right? So 1.5 months. That's basically how long a patch cycle lasts for miHoYo Games right now, 42 days, and it gets 3 weeks for each banner character. And that's no longer going to be happening. Instead, they're just going to release both of the new patch banner characters. So in this case, for Genshin Impact, that's going to be Mavuika and Silali. They're probably going to be rerunning at the exact same time. And then after 3 weeks, they're going to rerun the rerun characters, and those characters will become available. So from now on, it's always going to be like the most hyped things first, and then it's going to last for an entire duration. It's not going to be 3 weeks of new characters and then 3 weeks of rerun characters. It's actually just going to be an entire patch cycle of completely new characters, as well as half a patch cycle of rerun characters. And the rerun characters, according to the leak, is going to run for 3 weeks, whereas the new characters is going to run for the entire duration of the patch. And this has some pretty major implications. The biggest one is that there's simply going to be a lot more time for you to get the characters you want now, because they're going to run for the entire duration of the patch. So you literally get 3 more weeks to get the characters that you want. There's going to be less FOMO. You're going to be able to save up for more time to get the characters that you want if the leak is not, full of bullshit. But I've seen this leak pop up now enough times for all three games, all of the miHoYo games, that I'm going to say that it's somewhat likely, and it makes sense because right now, when you look at this, is something I've been expecting, because I've been looking at the charts for like the revenue stuff for miHoYo games, and it doesn't really make sense, in my opinion, for them to have like separate banners anymore, because people are just going to be, there's so many leaks now that people are just saving for the characters that they want. There's really not much point to like stagger the releases, because people are just saving and saving and saving, and then we're going to get more leaks for new characters, and they're going to be saving and saving and saving for the next character. So why not just have both of the characters at the same time, right? Because people already know when they're coming out. People aren't really falling for the FOMO as much anymore due to leaks. So you might as well just release all the characters at the same time and give people all the time that they need, and it just looks better for miHoYo anyways. So that, I think that is part of the logic for why they're doing this. I also think that people are just like spending less money now on like individual games, because all of the games are so spread out now. So the fact that people have to manage like this like FOMO time schedule between all of the miHoYo games at the same time is kind of a hassle. So they're maybe just trying to dumb it down a little bit so that people, can schedule their schedule, basically their monthly. Like right now, before I moved to Taiwan, I was basically like putting down dots on my calendar to see which new patch game or banner character was coming out, which time I have to like focus on this game and that game. And now I don't really have to do that anymore, right? Because I still have to, but it's basically whenever a new patch comes out, that's when everything comes out for, in terms of the characters for that patch. And that's going to be a lot better for just really just like quality of life. I also think that this is like somewhat consequential for, the revenue wars that are happening right now, because right now, the revenue wars is kind of fake, because we don't really have all of the banners for each character in the same month, right? Even though like it's by monthly revenue, that's not really how like gacha games work, right? Because before, it used to be like 3 weeks of one character and then 3 weeks of another character, and then sometimes you wouldn't have an entire patch cycle's worth of character inside of a month, and then that game gets gimped, and then another game gets like kind of like a little bit buffed compared to the other games, because they got their entire patch cycle's worth of characters in that month. So now I think it's going to be, I don't know how this is going to affect it, but I think in general the gacha revenue charts is kind of like bunk anyways. It's kind of falling to the wayside, because not only does this change how miHoYo Games banners work, it's also going to change how you compare miHoYo Games revenue compared to the other games. And I don't think it's really comparable anymore because they have different banner systems right now. Like Wuthering Waves, Zenless Zone Zero, Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact, they all have relatively similar systems. And now that MiHoYo Games is changing, we don't know really how that's going to affect, our comparisons and how the comparisons are going to work at this point because I assume that Wuthering Waves is still continuing to use the old Genshin system, which is to have 3 weeks of one banner character and then 3 weeks of another banner character. I could be wrong because I haven't played Wuthering Waves for at least 2 patches now. So what do I know, right? But it's just something interesting to think about the fact that we're getting more quality of life, not only just in like the game itself, like the actual gameplay, but the actual like banner system is changing. And that is probably more consequential than anything that is happening. Like, let's be honest, like all these gameplay changes are not like from like a revenue standpoint, it's not really that consequential. The thing that actually affects how they make money is being changed. And I think this actually warrants more excitement, not like from not from a gameplay perspective, but from like a theoretical like perspective on how gacha games work. I think this is probably the most exciting thing that has happened from just like a perspective of an observer compared to what is happening in the quality of life sphere of things when it comes to gameplay. So this is Bench Gamer signing out, and I hope you guys enjoy your time. I've been really enjoying Natlan, all the Hoyoverse games, to be honest. I'm even branching out. Not really branching out. I'm going back to my old haunts. I'm going back to playing Arknights again. I'm still playing. I've even like touched up a bit on Fate Grand Order recently. I'm still in the first singularity, but I'm past the prologue now. So I've been doing a bit of that. Re-downloaded Reverse 1999. Probably just because I have more time now. Things are kind of settling in. I'm still waiting for my inheritance stuff to like move in. So there's that. Yeah, that's all that's been going on. This is Bench Gamer signing out. I'll see you guys later. Bye.